I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like and comment down below. Subscribe for more content.
Okay, Makayla, me and your mom are going to be heading off to go see some friends, and I know you always love to see Cassie, and I know you always have fun with her, but since she is at her grandparents' house this week and the following week she is not able to babysit you today, so we have asked Rainbow Kitty Girl to look after you until me and your mom come back from seeing our friends, and plus we might go out to dinner with them.
Okay, Mom and Dad.
Hello, Go Big and Luna. I am here.
Hi, Rainbow Kitty Girl. Okay, sweetie, we are going to be heading out. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay. Bye, Mom and Dad. See you in a little bit.
Oh no. Not again.
RKG, are you okay? What's going on?
I am thinking negative again. It's because of all the bad stuff that I have done in the past.
Hey RKG, please calm down. And please take some nice and slow deep breaths for me, please.
I can't.
RKG, here I am going to give you a hug. Puts my arms around you.
THX for the hug, Makayla. Hey Makayla, what are you doing? He. That tickles. Ha 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 ha.
Boo. I'm going to tickle you, Rainbow Kitty Girl. It's Dominic Montalongo, the tickle monster.
He. Dominic that tickles. Ha 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 ha. Dominic and Makayla, stop it. You guys are tickling me too much.
Yawn. Well, that was fun. I'm really sleepy, RKG.
I'm sure you are. Here, I will take you up to bed and I can read you a bedtime story.
Yawn. Okay.
Oh, here's a really good one. Okay, Makayla, here we go.
But all the while, he was longing to dance, for a funny new tickly feeling ran through him, and he felt he would give anything in the world to be able to jump about like these rabbits did. The strange rabbit stopped dancing and came quite close. He came so close this time that his long whiskers brushed the velveteen rabbit's ear, and then he wrinkled his nose suddenly and flattened his ears and jumped backwards. "He doesn't smell right," he exclaimed. "He isn't a rabbit at all. He isn't real." "I am real," said the little rabbit. "I am real. The boy said so." And he nearly began to cry. Just then there was a sound of footsteps, and the boy ran past near them, and with a stamp of feet and a flash of white tails, the two strange rabbits disappeared. "Come back and play with me," called the little rabbit. "Oh, do come back. I know I am real." But there was no answer. Only the little ants ran to and fro, and the bracken swayed gently where the two strangers had passed. The velveteen rabbit was all alone. "Oh dear," he thought, "why did they run away like that? Why couldn't they stop and talk to me?" For a long time he lay very still, watching the bracken and hoping that they would come back. But they never returned, and presently the sun sank lower, and the little white moths fluttered out, and the boy came and carried him home. Weeks passed, and the little rabbit grew very old and shabby, but the boy loved him just as much. He loved him so hard that he loved all his whiskers off, and the pink lining to his ears turned grey, and his brown spots faded. He even began to lose his shape, and he scarcely looked like a rabbit anymore, except to the boy. To him, he was always beautiful, and that was all that the little rabbit cared about. He didn't mind how he looked to other people, because the nursery magic had made him real. And when you are real, shabbiness doesn't matter. And then, one day, the boy was ill. His face grew very flushed, and he talked in his sleep, and his little body was so hot that it burned the rabbit when he held him close. Strange people came and went in the nursery, and a light burned all night, and through it all the little velveteen rabbit lay there, hidden from sight under the bedclothes, and he never stirred, for he was afraid that if they found him, someone might take him away, and he knew that the boy needed him. It was a long, weary time, for the boy was too ill to play, and the little rabbit found it rather dull with nothing to do all day long. But he snuggled down patiently, and looked forward to the time when the boy should be well again, and they would go out in the garden amongst the flowers and the butterflies, and play splendid games in the raspberry thicket like they used to. All sorts of delightful things he planned, and while the boy lay half asleep, he crept up close to the pillow and whispered them in his ear. And presently the fever turned, and the boy got better. He was able to sit up in bed and look at picture books, while the little rabbit cuddled close at his side. And one day they let him get up and dress. It was a bright, sunny morning, and the windows stood wide open. They had carried the boy out onto the balcony, wrapped in a shawl, and the little rabbit lay tangled up among the bedclothes, thinking. The boy was going to the seaside tomorrow. Everything was arranged, and now it only remained to carry out the doctor's orders. They talked about it all, while the little rabbit lay under the bedclothes, with just his head peeping out, and listened. The room was to be disinfected, and all the books and toys that the boy had played with in bed must be burnt. "Hurrah!" thought the little rabbit. "Tomorrow we shall go to the seaside." For the boy had often talked of the seaside, and he wanted very much to see the big waves coming in, and the tiny crabs, and the sand castles. Just then Nana caught sight of him. "How about his old bunny?" she asked. "That," said the doctor. "Why, it's a mass of scarlet fever germs. Burn it at once." "What? Nonsense. Get him a new one. He mustn't have that any more." And so the little rabbit was put into a sack with the old picture books and a lot of rubbish, and carried out to the end of the garden behind the fowl house. That was a fine place to make a bonfire, only the gardener was too busy just then to attend to it. He had the potatoes to dig and the green peas to gather, but next morning he promised to come quite early and burn the whole lot. That night the boy slept in a different bedroom, and he had a new bunny to sleep with him. It was a splendid bunny, all white plush with real glass eyes, but the boy was too excited to care very much about it, for tomorrow he was going to the seaside, and that in itself was such a wonderful thing that he could think of nothing else. And while the boy was asleep, dreaming of the seaside, the little rabbit lay among the old picture books in the corner behind the fowl house, and he felt very lonely. The sack had been left untied, and so by wriggling a bit, he was able to get his head through the opening and look out. He was shivering a little, for he had always been used to sleeping in a proper bed, and by this time his coat had worn so thin and threadbare from hugging that it was no longer any protection to him. Nearby he could see the thicket of raspberry canes, grown tall and close like a tropical jungle, in whose shadow he had played with the boy on bygone mornings. He thought of those long sunlit hours in the garden, how happy they were, and a great sadness came over him. He seemed to see them all pass before him, each more beautiful than the other. The fairy huts in the flower bed, the quiet evenings in the wood when he lay in the bracken and the little ants ran over his paws, the wonderful day when he first knew that he was real. He thought of the skin horse, so wise and gentle, and all that he had told him. Of what use was it to be loved and lose one's beauty and become real if it all ended like this? And a tear, a real tear, trickled down his little shabby velvet nose and fell to the ground. And then a strange thing happened. For where the tear had fallen, a flower grew out of the ground, a mysterious flower, not at all like any that grew in the garden. It had slender green leaves, the colour of emeralds, and in the centre of the leaves a blossom like a golden cup. It was so beautiful that the little rabbit forgot to cry, and just lay there, watching it. And presently the blossom opened, and out of it there stepped a fairy. She was quite the loveliest fairy in the whole world. Her dress was of pearl and dewdrops, and there were flowers round her neck and in her hair, and her face was like the most perfect flower of all. She came close to the little rabbit and gathered him up in her arms and kissed him on his velvety nose that was all damp from crying.
Hey RKG, that is the same story that Cassie read to me. It looks like she put a bookmark on it so that way when whoever reads me the story they know where we left off at. Thank you for reading me the rest of the story. Good night RKG.
Good night, Makayla. Makayla? Are you okay? What's wrong?
I can't sleep. I miss Cassie.
Hey Makayla. I have Cassie's phone number. I don't know if she is asleep or still awake, but I can call her so you can talk to her for a little bit, okay?
Okay.
HMM? Who's calling me? Oh, it's Rainbow Kitty Girl. Hello?
Hey Cassie, so I'm watching over Makayla tonight for Go Big and Luna, but once I put Makayla into bed and read her the rest of the story, I was going to leave her room until I heard her crying, and she says that she misses you, so can you maybe talk to her for just a little bit? I think she needs to hear your voice.
Okay. Hey Makayla? It's Cassie.
Cassie? Where are you? I miss you.
EWW Makayla. I know. But I am in California for 2 weeks, and even though I am not available to babysit you during the 2 weeks, I know you always want me there. But listen, sometimes if I have to go somewhere and I'm not available, I will always ask Go Big to ask one of my other friends to come and babysit you until I come back. Please, Makayla, don't cry, please, but look, sweetie. I will be back on the 25th, so if you want, I can ask your mom or dad to FaceTime me so that way you can see me, okay? Will that make you feel better?
Yes, please.
Okay. So maybe tomorrow morning I will call up either your mom or dad and see if we can do a FaceTime call, okay? Anyways, Makayla, it's really late, so you should go to sleep now, okay? And, Rainbow Kitty Girl, there should be an Arizona teddy bear right next to her bed. Can you give that to her?
Okay, Cassie.
Sure thing, Cassie. Anyways, talk to you later.
Talk to you later, Rainbow Kitty Girl.
Rainbow Kitty Girl, we are back. And how was our girl?
She was very good, Luna. but there was a slight problem trying to get her to fall asleep. Well, I read her the bedtime story that Cassie read her the other day that she was here, but then later on, just as I was going to walk out of her room, she started crying and I asked her what's wrong, and she told me that she misses Cassie. So since I had Cassie's phone number, I called Cassie and I told Cassie to talk with Makayla for a little bit, and so yeah, there was just a little tiny problem with trying to get her to fall asleep, but luckily Cassie told her nice lead to go to sleep and go big. Cassie was going to call you and she kind of wants to ask you something, but she'll call you in the morning.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Rainbow Kitty Girl, for watching over her. Anyways, we will see you later. And have a good night.
It's never a problem, Go Big and Luna.
Anyways guys, that's all for this video. We'll see you all in the next video. This is Luna, Go Big, Makayla, Rainbow Kitty Girl, Cassie and Dominic signing off.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos.